Okay, so we continue for the last presenter, which is Aisyah. Okay, Dayini.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aisyah Binti and I am a first year architecture student from the University Science Islam Malaysia. And today I would like to present on the last project I did on the last semester, which is to the point. But first, I'd like to briefly explain about the task. Okay, as an architecture student, of course, we need to go back to our campus because we need our studio. We need to do the drawing on the drafting table because it is kind of hard to do the drawing in our house because we don't have that facilities. Not just that, it will be much more easier for us to do the grid session face to face and more understandable in that way. Besides, we can actually ask our lecturer face to face because I think when we want to ask the lecturer in online, it's kind of we easily got distracted. It's like we want to ask the lecturer, but then suddenly our friends need us, and then we have no choice but to answer, to reply our friends first, and then at the end we forgot about that. But then, as we are in pandemic, we kind of have a limited space to walk around, to move around, because we want to prevent from the spread of the COVID-19 coronavirus. So by inventing a studio pod, it can actually prevent the student from moving around, and then prevents the student from it will prevent from the spread of the COVID-19 because the student apparently practicing the social distancing rules when they're in a pod. So not just that, the studio pod can actually give the students a place to rest and then do their work privately. By doing the work privately doesn't mean that we need to do the work in private in a closed space, but rather is more like doing it in personally, something like that. So with the limited space of 2.1 meter length and then times 1.8 meter height and 1.5 meter width, we are required to design a studio hot for 24 hours use for a single occupancy, and all activities in this part are related to design studio work such as drafting, designing and drawing. Yeah. So the objective of the project are to further the student concerns about the elementary needs. The second one is to introduce and create awareness of scale proportion of the human body. That is why the space provided is very limited because we are focusing on only one person. And then the third one is understanding human space, understanding human factors to the design of space to improve comfort, safety and productivity. That means that the studio pod is suitable for us to like sitting and then bend or moving around normally. And the last one is to introduce role of human behavior in shape in space and to explore how the anthropometry and econometry works relating to space. Next, I'm going to talk about the NAKI study, the concept, the ideation, and the precedent study. As I was putting myself in as the user of the studio part, the studio part focuses more on what I need and what I want it to be. As our environment, our studio environment is kind of lack of nature things and it looks very, very dull. So based on the NAKI study, I found which from Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 39, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن سبع سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. Which means He is who created you all that there is in earth, and then He rose over towards heaven and from them 7 heavens, and He has the full knowledge of all things. And I was trying to stress on the words of He who created you all that there is in earth, as the phrase itself shows that everything in this earth is made by Allah, and that includes nature, and Allah's creation never looks boring and dull. I was focusing on the that's mean I was focusing on the concept of biomimicry, which means the imitation of the nature to solve human problems. And I want the element of nature in my study part as it reduce our stress and increase pleasant feelings. Of course, we can run away from the stress while being an architecture student. So by the implication of the nature, it will kind of help us at ease. As for the ideation, I'm using a flipping of the bat wing, because I try to mimic the wing of the bat. So this is the relationship between the Naqli, the concept and the ideation. So the first one is the relationship between the Naqli study and the concept, in which the Naqli study is highlighted on the using the red highlight. Meanwhile, for the concept on the in the purple highlight. So yeah, the first one, he is who created you all that there is in earth, with the concept. It relates with the concept of imitation of the nature. Meanwhile, the second one is he has full knowledge of all things. That's mean we have a relation with the to solve the human problems. As for the relationship between the Naqli study and ideation, again, Naqli study on the red highlight, meanwhile the ideation on the green highlight. He is who created you all that there is on the earth. That's mean it have a relation with the bat wings, because Allah created the bat wings. And the second one is he has full knowledge of all things. I mean, he is all knowing. It relate with the process of flapping of the wing. That's mean Allah knows better about the flapping of the wings. And as for the relationship between the concept and ideation, meanwhile the concept on the purple highlight, meanwhile the ideation on the green highlight, the imitation of nature that have a relation with the bat wings. So what are the relationship with industry? So relationship with industry, in Naqli study, the concept and the ideation is are he is who created you all that there is on the earth. That means it relate with the concept of mimicry, which is imitation of the nature, and it relate with the ideation, which is bat wings. And the second one is that he has full knowledge of all things. That means he is all knowing. It relate with the concept of to solve human problems, and relate with the process of the flipping of the wings. Okay, so as for the precedent study, I use a tensile because tensile is a structural system that use tensions instead of using compressions, and it is capable of being stretched, just like how the bat can stretch their own wing. As for the model, okay, this is the concept model on how I managed to get the idea. On the first one is actually I got the idea from the bat wing skeletons. As for the second one, I got it on like how, the spread of the bat wings, and the last one is I got the idea from the bat wings skin. So based on the model, I created a lot of openings, and for a natural ventilation and for a lighting that comes from the studio itself. That means that we don't need to think about the electricity while being hot and dark inside of it. Next, at the back, as you can see, and there's like a wire attached with the roof, so I can pull it upwards and downwards. Because I tend to feel suffocated in a small space for a long time. That's why that's why I design it in that way, that we can open it and close it, because if we want to have a privacy, we can close it, but if we feel suffocated, we can pull it upwards. Besides, we can actually attach a clip on top of the bar at the back, so we can do our presentation. We can clip our presentation bar when we are doing some presentation. And then as for the facade, I designed it that way, as I kind of wanted to make it like look very, very very rigid and strong, just like how the bat wings are, the bat skeletons, and like that. And then so this is how the design process are, from the back to the structure to the final form. As for the materials, I use the wooden sticks, because if it is in a real construction, it's very environmental friendly, because I plan to use the bamboo, because bamboo has a tensile strength greater than the steel because of its fiber. So the knots in the construction are called the lashing techniques. So the lashing techniques, we we stack the bamboo together, and then we use the rope and then tie it around it. So it would prevent from the stick to move around, and it's actually very, very strong and hard to break. So as for this token, it represents tensile, because as for token, it's the fabric is elastic and it is able to stretch. So just like how the tensile is able to stretch very, very far. This the elevations drawing. As you can see, the front, the facade is like a V shape on each level, and then as for the left and right side it looks identical it's asymmetrical, and as for the back it only looks like this because as you can see as what I want it to be. I want it to like being functional. That means that we can move it upwards and downwards. As for the dimension, I maximize the space for the studio port so it is not cramped. As for the height at the back, I only use 1.65 meter. Meanwhile, I use the maximum height at the front to create a gradient so it will not look like a rectangular form. At the back, I design it. I only put 1.65 meter because my height is actually 1.61 meter. That means that I still able to go out on that side. um, as for the furniture inside, due to limited space and the structure I designed it is kind of hard to attach a cabinet because we don't have a hard wall. That means that we need something that is not attached to a wall. That's why. As for the drafting table with the size of 1.2 meter width and 1.0 meter length, so the table itself already take almost half of the side. That's mean I need to design something that is very convenient. We can that's mean that we don't need the table 24 hours. So I designed a foldable table in which it is connected to the storage. There actually have two sides in which the other side there's no shelf. So it is suitable to put papers such as the A1 papers, and meanwhile the other side there's three shelf brought. The bottom one we can put an A4 book. The second and the first one we can actually put snacks or even stationaries because of course sometimes that we need to we need to stay up at our studio because we want to complete our works at the studio. So sometimes it will take almost until night, and during night there's no stores available. So I think it is a good idea for us to put a snack inside of our storage because it will keep our hunger. It will satisfy our hunger. And then when we don't want to use the tablet, we can actually fold it, and there will be a space that is suitable to do such as light activities, such as maybe like stretching, or maybe even if it's okay, maybe we can do praying out there. And on top of the cabinet there's like a little space on it. We can actually put a laptop and do our we'll get that concept of laptop there. And as for the two shelf of the each of the sides is suitable for us to put a shoes, so maybe a blanket if we feel very cold, because sometimes the studio aircon is very cold, and we can use the blanket when we are cold. So in conclusion, I think it's really important to consider the user's need because not all the people are the same. They are all different. Some is okay to sit in a small space, but some are not, and some like their place messy, but some like to keep their place clean. As for me, I think I'm in the middle of it. I'm okay with the messy place as long as it's bearable, but I don't really like the clean place with nothing in it. Yeah. So as I was putting myself as a user, I learned that it is more. I understand that the objective of the projects. The objective is achieved. So that's why I learned that height and the space is really important. It will affect on the people's, and then that's why I designed my studio port is not less than 1.60 meter, because if I design it below than that, I will have a hard time to stand at the back. As for the width and the length, I maximize the width and the length because it will have more space to put something in it, and then I can do some stretching or maybe bending, or I can even lay inside of it. Yeah. So thank you for having me. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay. Okay, so thank you Aisyah Nabila for the presentation. So from my opinion, what I can comment from her presentation, is good, the lighting is good, and from the fluency of the words, she can speak fluently from the beginning until the end. But that's one thing, and that's very obviously that we all can see that she cannot stand straight. She tended to move right, left, move forward. So I think she lacks at that. Okay. Anyone?
For me, I think the graphic, the board is nice. The way she show her picture, her board, it is nicely presented. And then the second one is I think she need to lower down a bit her camera angle so that we can see maybe half of the body. Maybe so that we can see her hand gesture well.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Next.
I think it's nice to see that she make another slide to explain about her board, because I think she doesn't have any board with her. So I think she made another slide to present so that we can fully understand. So I think it's nice. And for the for the gesture, she need to improve on that. And the graphic, as for the graphic, I think she needs to add a little bit of color, or any to make the drawing looks more interesting to us. So that's all.
For me, I think the way she present is good, but the way she show the board or the picture is kind of too small, so I cannot really see what she write, or I cannot really see the detail of her drawings because the picture is too small, and the top of the video is there's a lot of space that she did not use, but the underneath that needs to be in the video is that her hand gestures, which is more important than the upper part, which is she didn't use at all. So, and she can try to larger the image, but overall the way she puts the info, the additional image from Google is really good to portray what she wants. So that's a good one for her.
Yes, that's a good. That's a nice presentation from Aisyah. And personally for me, I like her face expression because I like the way her brow moves. If you notice it, and but Aisyah need to maintain her eye contact to the camera, and for the graphic, it's a good effort from Aisyah to prepare a slide and very good diagrams. But for the drawings, need to be details up, need to be zoom in for us to see a better view for the also the screen frame ratio that Faiza Adam have been mentioned before. And the fluency is very good. Good job, Aisha.
I want to add some points that actually when she is trying to presenting about her board, she patutnya she should show the her board lah, because in architecture, the most important thing is our board. That is the most crucial part. That is the markah paling banyak lah. So we want to see how she arranged the drawings, the lettering inside her board.
Just now Aisyah show her drawing, only her drawing or what? Just now.
I
What
think
do you mean by
she showed her drawing,
her board?
but she crop.
Oh, you want it a whole as a whole?
Yes, I want to see the whole board.
Maybe that need to be improved for Aisyah. If Aisyah is seeing this.
Okay, so anyone else want to add? Okay, I think there's no more. So we will go to the next session, which is giving the rating. So for Aisyah, I think I will give 8 out of 10. Okay.
I'll give 7.5.
I gave her 8, but 8.5 if she has a good lighting.
Dayini?
Daini?
Daini is still thinking.
Okay, Faiza.
I think I'm gonna give her 7 for the slide effort for the slide.
Yes.
And I also like the way she smiled during the presentation.
Are you done?
Oh, yes.
No, because I have cut off for about 3 times, I think.
Huh?
Saya dipotong, saya punya cakap.
Oh, just now you are still thinking and then Shafiq asked for my rating.
Yeah. So I want to continue to say that I agree with Adam that I want to give 7.5. So Aisyah, keep the good word and improve your word.
Okay. So overall 7.5 for Aisyah. Okay, Aisyah, thank you.
Good job, Aisyah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tolong jawab.
Okay, thank you everyone. So this is the last present. So thanks for watching.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.